Welcome to the Grounded Woo Woo. Hey, it's Michelle Victoria. I hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed last week's podcast. Talked about the planets and their signification based off of ancient astrologers. And you can apply those topics to the areas of your chart that you have the planets in. So let's talk about Saturn. Where was your Saturn in your birth chart? You can apply those significations to that area and see how the story plays out for you personally. For me, I'm a Capricorn rising, so yes, Saturn is my chart ruler, so I'm going to find Saturn. It's in my fourth house of home and family and lineage, and I'm going to apply those topics to that house. And yes, it paints the picture of isolation, seriousness, oppression, control, elders, time, impermanence, depression, limitation, alienation, all things I experienced at home. Was very much a very controlling parent and oppressive. And I also, for me, and you may find things like this too, my fourth house also has Chiron and the North Node, so I have lots of lessons in the fourth house around home and family. And yes, so I came into this life to really work on Saturn things. So if you'll say you're a Cancer rising, you're ruled by the moon, you're going to find the moon in your chart, and that's going to be a heavy theme for you. And all those significations that I gave last week about the moon, you can apply those significations, those themes to that house that they're in, and see how that works for you. So this week I wanted to talk about rulership, going back to what I touched on a little bit in last week's, which is your chart ruler. What that means is your rising sign, your ascendant sign, what is the ruler of that sign? Because that speaks to your heavy theme of your life. So let's start with the beginning of the zodiac wheel, which is Aries. They're ruled by Mars. So if you are an Aries rising, you're going to go to Mars in your chart. You're going to apply those significations from my last episode to that area. Let's say Mars in the seventh house, relationships. Love relationships, marriages, partnerships, business partnerships, best friends, clients, close relationships basically. So maybe you have Mars themes. Maybe you are very impulsive with your relationships, or you can get angry too easily with relationships. So things like that. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So you're going to look to where Venus is in your chart. Let's say you have Venus in the 10th house. So you're going to apply the themes and the significations that I listed in last week's podcast to that area of the 10th house of your outward reputation in the world and your career. Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication and speech and writing and the mind. So you're going to find Mercury in your chart. Let's say it's the third house. It's in its home area. It loves to be in the third house. So that is the house of communication and short distance travels and siblings and early education. And so you're going to apply those themes of Mercury, those significations to that third house and see how it plays out for you. Cancer, we've talked about that. Cancer risings are going to be ruled by the moon. So you're going to look to where the moon is in your chart and at birth and apply those significations, themes to that area of your chart. Leo is ruled by the sun. So where's the sun in your chart? That will speak to how the themes of the sun are representing itself in your chart. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Again, themes of communication and short distance travel. I'm talking about the third house. Communication and writing and speaking and the mind. So you're going to look where Mercury is in your chart if you're a Virgo rising, and that'll tell you a lot about what you're here to work on. Libra, another Venus ruled sign. So you're going to find where Venus is, and it will speak to what will be a predominant theme in your life in that topic, that area. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, planet of abundance and growth, expansion. So where's Jupiter in your chart? So you know if you're a Sag rising, your Sagittarius rising is always in the first house of the self. So where's Jupiter, and how is that communicating with the rest of your chart? So Jupiter is going to be a heavy theme in your life if you're Sagittarius rising. And Capricorn rising, that's me, as I've said. I'm ruled by Saturn, so Saturn's going to be the heavy theme and thing I work on in my life, and it is. Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, and modern rulership is Uranus. We'll talk about that at a later date, but ancient is Saturn. So again, the Saturnian themes that and topics I listed in last week's podcast, you can apply that wherever your Saturn is. And Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, like Sagittarius. So you're going to look to where Jupiter is. Let's say Jupiter is in your third house. You're going to have topics of communication. Maybe they go really well for you. Maybe you have a large following with Jupiter there if you're on social media. And maybe you had really good luck with your siblings or in early education. You had a lot of growth and expansion in those areas. So there's a little bit on the signs and their rulership. I've got a post on Instagram about this podcast. Ask any questions, leave comments. And again, you can sign up for my newsletter and get the free ebook. And order your own personal planet chart report. And it's between 8 to 10 pages generally, and I use your exact birth time and chart information to create that report, and it's very detailed. All right, well, I hope you have a good week. We'll see you next time.